Assalamualaikum and hi. Welcome to MGT315 News. My name is Daniel Iman as your news anchor for today. Nowadays, as we know, there is a lot of people who have different thought and personality since their young age, which create more gender than usual that we had today, which is male and female. So today we're gonna talk about new gender, which is LGBTQ+. LGBTQ+ is an initialism that stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. The word LGBTQ in use since the 90s. The initialism, as well as some of its common variants, function as the umbrella terms for sexuality and gender identity. It may refer to anyone who is non-heterosexual or non-cisgender, instead of exclusively to people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. To recognize the inclusion, a popular variant LGBTQ as the letter Q for those who identify as queer or the questioning their sexual or gender identity. As we know, our country Malaysia is an Islamic state country which have Sharia law and forbidden this type of gender, and what government will thinking about this current issue. LGBT person in Malaysia will face legal challenge not experienced by non-LGBT residents. Sodomite, it is a crime in the country which law strictly enforce, and social attitudes toward the LGBT community are shaped by Islam, the official state religion of Malaysia. Breaking the law is punishable by up to 20 years in prison, and authorities will also bring the person to corporal punishment. Now, I will pass to the next anchor, which is Zahir. He will talk about more the current issue in Malaysia about LGBTQ right now.
We are here today to speak about the consequences of the increasing of the people in the LGBT community coming out. There is a lot of consequence to the issue, and it affects the society in Malaysia. This is because that people have different opinions on this issue, and this issue makes the society in Malaysia divided. In Malaysia, where the majority is Muslim and Islam is the official religion of the country, there is some people of the citizen that thinks that people in the LGBT community should not be even considered as one of them, and condemn the LGBT community with their whole being. In the other extreme end, there is some people in Malaysia who supports this community because they believe that everyone deserves happiness and have the rights to be whoever it is they want to be. There is also people who is neither in the side of people who is condemning the LGBT community, nor in the side of people who is supporting the LGBT community, but rather try to understand and remind this community why being part of the community is not good. The two extreme sides would usually never-endingly argue whenever this topic is brought up, all the while people who is not in either side try to preach to the community. It is a chaotic situation when people with opposing opinion try to bring the community down or stand up alongside them. Some of these people have been proven that they can be very opinionated, which make things a little bit hard if things ever go out of hand. This will not show the one Malaysia we have been promoting for decades. It will only show that Malaysia is just a place where people who does not share the same idea just happen to be in the same place. We already have many different aspects in each of our life that is so easily disagreeable depending on our lifestyle, culture, and beliefs. So we should find an answer for this issue, a common ground between all these sides with different opinions. I will have my colleague Aiman, who will be interviewing in the city of Shah Alam, to continue on this topic. Aiman, go ahead.
Thank you, Zahir, and here I am in Shah Alam interviewing LGBT representative. Many people are aware that LGBT people are considerably more likely to suffer from depression and anxiety. So I have a few questions for you. Why did you declare yourself as LGBT community?
Thank you, Aiman, for inviting me for this interview. So I will answer your first question. First of all, when I was young, I was a good boy, but I have soft personality. So many people think that I am part of the LGBT community. When I was young, and many people bullying me, talk back about my family because they think I am a boy with a weak personality. Because of that, I experienced a lot of depression and anxiety.
So the second question is, what your family will think about you?
Okay, at first my family tried to persuade me to not care about other people say to me and try to be a good man, but my feeling will not accept it. So I choose this path on my own will, and now my family abandoned me. So they think that I can make on my own on this life.
Okay, so the next question is, how's the surrounding react to you?
People start to look down on me because I was a little bit different from them. I usually get stress from people from all age of groups. So sometimes I will overhear people accusing me from damaging the economy. They think that I gain income from a bad way. I am very disappointed about it.
So the last question is, how are you feeling now?
Of course, I'm feel sad about it because people don't want to hire me as their employees. So I don't have enough source of income, which make me spend my saving money to take care of myself.
Okay, thank you for your time. I'll pass the interview to my colleague Arif, who will be conducting an interview in Shah Alam. Arif, please go ahead and continue.
Thanks, Aiman. I'm here in Shah Alam interviewing Datuk Shafiq as a director in Malaysia Economic Association. So, hi Datuk. How are you, Datuk?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, what do you think about LGBT in Malaysia?
For me, I think LGBT is not good in Malaysia because it has many negative impact on the economy of Malaysia.
So, that is one of the question. So, I know a lot of people want to ask you a lot of question. So, the second question that I want to ask to you is, can you describe the effect on the economy in Malaysia?
Yes, the first thing is unemployment. LGBT people, especially transgender people, are at high risk of unemployment. As a result, for transgender people seeking work, the entire job search and hiring process is full of challenges, particularly if a legal name or gender or an identity document such as driver's license does not match the outward appearance of the applicant. Because of this, the number of unemployed people in Malaysia will increase.
So, Datuk, now coming to the third question. Is there any other effect on economy in Malaysia?
Yes. Besides unemployment, poverty also will affect the economy in Malaysia. The LGBT community will be more poverty because they will spend their money doing surgery instead of saving their money for the future. Besides that, LGBT community became more poorer because they did not have any work to gain money.
Before we end our interview, so Datuk, any other last word?
Yes, for me, I hope LGBT in Malaysia will decrease so that we can maintain economic quality. That's all from me.
Okay, Datuk, I know you are a busy person, so thank you for your time, Datuk.
Welcome.
The conclusion of this news regarding LGBT in Malaysia is already known to many and also disseminated by the local mass media. This proves that the issue of LGBT symptoms in Malaysia has never been overlooked. Many parties are always sensitive and always concerned in relation to these LGBT problems. However, this should not stop at what is already there because having different and personalities, LGBT is in individualism, that means lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. General terms for sexuality and gender identity, Malaysia is an Islamic country that has Sharia law and bans sex sodomy is a crime in the country with law strictly enforced. This LGBT issue will also have various consequences, especially in Malaysia if it not taken into consideration by the authorities. We are aware of the dangers of this LGBT issue will cause problems, for example, as a result to society, such as dividing society in Malaysia, and will not show one Malaysia that we promote. This will cause Malaysia to be disharmonious and not be a good example to other countries. Moreover, this LGBT issue will have consequences for people. For example, the reason why many LGBT is because they suffer a lot of depression and anxiety due to bullies. They choose this part of their own will, and others look down on LGBT and think LGBT make income from that part not good. Therefore, all parties must take this LGBT issue seriously because it will have a negative impact on Malaysia. In addition, the impact of this LGBT issue will affect the country's economic consequences such as unemployment, poverty, and others. The impact of LGBT has had a harsh impact on individuals, society, and the economy. What we can see in this is a criminal act committed in public. LGBT groups and pro-LGBT parties are increasingly aggressive and come out openly defending LGBT as acts as freedom for individuals. To solve this problem, the relevant parties need to propose from the point of view of law and enforcement to eradicate this LGBT case by giving severe punishment to those who commit this crime. Finally, the government needs to take this issue seriously and take appropriate action so that the LGBT issue can be stopped. Therefore, we as harmonious Malaysians must work together to prevent this LGBT issue and not be easily influenced so that this LGBT issue does not continue to spread in the future and threatens the well-being of the country.